Good evening and welcome to the J98 Dream Team Ceremony. My name is Glenn Johnson. I'm the sports director at J98 Radio and KREI Radio in Farmington, Missouri. I'd also like to introduce you to our fine staff. Tommy Self has been with us for a few years now. He's the sports director at KJFF in Festus. Jefferson County coaches and athletes work closely to him. Let's give Tommy a big round of applause. Keep that going for Jack Sadler, operating the camera on J98 Web TV, and also Chelsea Pounds and Diana Graves, the members of the sales staff who checked you in today. You'll notice on your program, we've been doing this for 37 years, and it keeps getting bigger and better every single year. We've added the Dream Team Selection Show. We started doing that in the fall. We've gotten great results from that. I think the kids like it. It's certainly fun to put together. I think coaches and parents like that. So if you haven't experienced the Dream Team Selection Show yet, we got another Dream Team coming up in May. I would recommend listening in for that. We'll let you know when we're going to have that. To make the Dream Team, it is a pretty big deal. We have a lot of all-state athletes that cannot make it onto the Dream Team or that do not make it onto the Dream Team. And the reason is because, well, it's a select bunch that we select. I think the biggest knock that coaches have on our Dream Team is that we don't take enough. But I guess from my standpoint of it is we want the best of the best. We are looking for elite, not just athletes, but kids in the classroom. We want good people on this Dream Team. We're not just going to take everybody. You really have to earn it. And ask these kids up here if they've earned it. And I can guarantee you they tell you that they have with everything that they've put into their respective sports season. But another reason that it's tough to make it is because we do not discriminate class. Class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even 6 are all mixed together in the same Dream Team. That's why we have maybe all-state kids from Class 1 or Class 4 that can't make it onto the Dream Team because they're all fighting, all the classes are fighting for just 10 spots or 5 spots or whatever the case may be. It's another reason it's so tough. Also, we cover a pretty wide area. We're looking for the best of the best athletes in the J98 listening area. So that stretches south to towns like Van Buren. We go north to like Northwest High School is represented on the Dream Team today. We go east as far as Perryville and even across the Mississippi River into Illinois. And we go out far as west to Cuba. So we have a huge listening area, and we have to pick a small number to make it onto the Dream Team, or I should say the coaches are the ones who pick that. So there's a lot of deserving kids that end up getting left out each and every year because of that. But again, it goes to show just how elite the company is by making the Dream Team. The way the Dream Team works, the process works, is a little bit before the season is starting to winding down. We will put together nomination forms, and we'll send it out to all the coaches in our listening area, every single coach in our listening area. We give them a deadline to get those nomination forms back to us with any information that they want to help brag about their kid with. Anything's good. A lot of stats are on there, but a lot of extracurricular activities, what they do in the classroom. And I think that information is what allows the coaches to decide who's going to make the Dream Team. Yeah, they want good athletes on there, but they want to know that the kids are doing the right things in school as well. That's why we ask for that information. Another reason we ask for that information is because we have a scholar athlete that's awarded at the end of the year every year. And if the coaches can provide as much information as possible, it helps us determine who we pick as our scholar athlete. We have a boy and a girl every year that gets awarded, and that happens during the May ceremony. That is the only award that is picked by this radio station. Every other award that's handed out today was picked by the area high school coaches. So once we pile that information onto a ballot, we send the ballots back out. The coaches vote. You cannot vote for your own player. So you're voting against players you've heard about or players that you've coached against. You also vote for Player and Coach of the Year. You send that back to me. I compile the results. We have the Dream Team Selection Show, and there you go. And that's how we get to the Dream Team. 4 sports will be represented today on the Dream Team: wrestling, girls basketball, boys basketball, and cross country. And we'll start with wrestling. Our first presenter actually could not be here today. He's in Jefferson City with Brandon Mayberry, and I'm talking about Central coach Scott Aholt. He did, though, send me a statement to read on his behalf, and I'll do so right now. Brandon also could not be here today. Brandon Mayberry from Central High School. He finished this season second place at the state wrestling tournament. 45-4 was his record. He was voted District 1 Wrestler of the Year and his academic All-State. He finished first at the DeSoto Wrestling Tournament, second at the Cape Central Tiger Classic. He started wrestling in his sophomore year, has a career record of 88-14. He was a district champ his junior and senior years. He set or tied school records in most wins in a season, most pins in a season, most tech falls in a season, most two-point near falls in a season. His other sports accomplishments, he's an all-state defensive player in football as a defensive end. That's the last 2 years. Also an all-conference runner in the 400-meter relay, sectional qualifier in the 100-meter and 400-meter relay in track. He's a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes and C Club. Now, another interesting thing about Brandon Mayberry is last year he came dangerously close to being the first three-sport all-state athlete in Central High School athletics history. He was all-state in one of the three, but was very close in the other two. He got it in football, but just missed it in track and wrestling. Well, this year, he was all-state in football, finishing second at the state meet. He got it again in wrestling, and if he gets it in track, he will be the first ever three-sport athlete at Central High School in Park Hills. Let's hear it. A big round of applause for Brandon Mayberry. Our next presenter also could not be here today, but for very good reason. John Kraus is the Farmington wrestling coach. Mark Kraus, his brother, is being inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame today in Jefferson City. John will be there presenting him with that. So speaking in John Kraus's place, Farmington Athletic Director, John Bacon.
Good afternoon. Coach John Kraus wanted me to pass along personally how much he really wanted to be here and how much it bothered him to have to miss today. He is very proud of all of the young men on his wrestling team and especially these two guys that are here today. So I know that it is, while it's a lot of fun for him to be with his brother at the state Hall of Fame inductions, that it's difficult for him to miss today here with you guys. So he has presented, he's given me some words to say here. He wants to thank KREI, KJFF, and J98 for putting on this event and honoring these kids, and also for the recognition that they give everybody throughout the season. Coach Kraus goes on to say that he is always impressed by the quality of athletes that are on the Dream Team, but this year as he was looking at the ballot, he was really, really impressed with the guys that were on the wrestling ballot, and he realized how difficult it was going to be to make this squad this year. And he said he would also like to congratulate all the area wrestlers and coaches for a job well done. Particularly, I would like to congratulate St. Genevieve for their third place finish at the state tournament. However, I myself am a Valley Catholic graduate, and so it's really difficult for me on the radio to congratulate that school that wears green and white on anything. I'm just kidding. Congratulations, St. Gen. You guys had a great year. At this time, we'd like to introduce the two wrestlers from Farmington High School being recognized as 2015 Dream Team members. Our first wrestler is junior William Siebert. William is the son of Tanya and Shannon Roberts. William wrestled in the 160-pound weight class. William has many characteristics and accomplishments that he should be proud of. However, the characteristic that I like the best is the fact that he is a courageous hard worker. Coach Kraus goes on to say, we have a quote often used in our wrestling room: courage is being afraid but saddling up anyway. I do not believe that William never has fear, but he overcomes that fear and shows courage in all situations, as well as any high school athlete I have ever been associated with. In a room full of hard workers, William sets the bar. As gifted a wrestler as he is, it is this characteristic that allows him to maximize his potential both as a wrestler and as an individual. The following are a few of William's accomplishments from the 2014-15 season. His record was 50-9. Of those 50 wins, all but 8 were by major decision or better, including 28 falls. His tournament finishes in the Kansas City Stampede, which is ranked one of the top 5 high school wrestling tournaments in the nation. William finished 7th. He was 1st in the SEMO Conference tournament. He was 1st in the district tournament, and he was 5th in the state tournament. William was also voted the hardest worker by his teammates and coaches. William is now a 2-time state placer and a first-time Dream Team member. Ladies and gentlemen, William Siebert. Our next representative from Farmington High School is junior Colin Hewitt. Colin is the son of Sherry and Andy Hewitt. Colin wrestled at the 170-pound weight class. This is his second dream team. Colin's season came to an unexpected end at the conference tournament in January. While wrestling and controlling his finals match, Colin injured his knee and ultimately ended his junior season. The injury required complete reconstruction of his PCL and a repair of his LCL. Coach Kraus goes on to say that he believes it's a testament to Colin's reputation. Despite not finishing the season, he was still voted onto the dream team. His rehab is going well, and he is on track to be back on the mat, hopefully in August or September. Colin is one of the most physically gifted wrestlers Coach Kraus has ever had the privilege to work with. He is a physical presence every time he steps on the mat. His athletic ability alone is not what makes Colin a great wrestler. He has watched Colin grow and mature as both a wrestler and as an individual over the course of the last 3 years. Colin has a 3.8 GPA. He was a Dream Team member his freshman and sophomore year. His freshman year, he finished 5th in state. His sophomore year, he finished 4th in state. Because of his injury, he was unable to compete in state this year. His record overall this year was 42-2. Colin finished 4th in the very prestigious KC Stampede. He finished 1st in the St. Charles West Tournament. And until he was injured, he was on pace to finish 1st in the conference tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, Colin Hewitt.
Colin's playing injured today. You got to love that, man. Our next presenter used, he would do whatever it took to start a program at his high school, a wrestling program, including dipping into his own pocket, using some of his own money to start that wrestling program. This year, he sent 5 wrestlers to state in just over 3 years of having a program. Pretty tremendous accomplishment. Please welcome from Festus High School, Tom Bowden.
Thank you. Can you stand up yet? Okay. This is my 50th year of coaching wrestling, or being in wrestling, and minus 1 year for I was in Vietnam. I couldn't wrestle in there, but I was able to start a program here 4 years ago at Festus. We still don't have a Little League program. We still don't have a middle school program, but we've worked really hard and done a good job. So the fortunate thing was that when Dustin was in school there, it was a good time to get the program started. So Dustin is a senior this year. He was district champion last 2 years. He was district wrestler of the year for District 3, 1, Class 3, Class 1. He was second state as a sophomore in 2013. He was state champion down in 2014. And last year, unfortunately, he ended up second in 2015. He set the record for pins, takedowns, near falls, reversals. He's got all the school records. He's got 72 points, state points. He's also has a lifetime record of 136 wins and 5 losses. And 2 of those losses, he was injured and had to default. So the only time he lost was district finals 1 year, and state finals the other 2 years were the 3 losses. He had just a record of 86 wins in a row before he lost his match in the finals. And I just want to tell him how much I appreciate him. And we're going to keep rolling, keep the program going. And I'm very thankful to J98, KREI, and KJFF for allowing us to do this. This is our second year at this. So thank you very much.
Our next presenter, this was his first year as the head coach of his program, but they sent 4 wrestlers to state this year. 2 of those medaled. Please welcome from Herculaneum High School, Coach Roscoe Whitener.
Well, I feel like a youngster compared to Bowden. I've only been in this for 40 years. So, I'd like to talk about James Tadero here. The interesting thing is he's a freshman, okay? And I don't think that happens too often that freshmen get on a dream team. Can't say a whole lot about his past other than he grew up as a wrestler in Little League, right? Okay? Comes from good stock, though, and good support. His father was a medalist down at DeSoto. His father's James. He's out in the audience. His record is 42-8 as a freshman. 8 of his losses came to one guy beat him twice, beat him in district, and that's who beat him in the finals at the state championship, okay? He also wrestled the 120 who took first in state, and he bumped up that day because he didn't make weight, okay? But he almost redeemed himself in that match. He had the kid really in a defensive pinning position. It was not called, I feel, okay? Of his 8 losses, 7 of those were medalists at state. One of them made it to the last round before the medals. So he was not beaten by any slouches. And I look for great things to come. He's the first freshman medalist at Herculaneum. He can become the first 4-time medalist at Herculaneum. I look for great things.
Our next presenter sent 4 wrestlers to state this year, but what I wanted to talk about with him was something that I thought was pretty cool that happened in the fall. He was honored as the Marine Corps Coach of the Year during football season for instilling Marine-like values into his players. I thought that was awesome. Please welcome Hillsboro coach Lee Freeman.
I would like to congratulate all of these young people up here today because, as many of you as parents and coaches know, the time that they spend is it's unprecedented, especially in this day and age. I'd like to talk just a brief moment here about Ryan. Before that, thanks Tommy and Glenn, appreciate it, guys. Ryan is a 4-year varsity wrestler for us, and if anybody knows anything about wrestling, wrestling as a freshman at heavyweight is not always the most fun thing to do, but Ryan managed to fight through that there as a freshman and kept coming back every year and just a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. Was able to qualify as a junior, and things didn't work out the way that we wanted them to, but got back to the state tournament as a senior and finished with a 31-10 record, and he was also 4th place finisher at the state tournament at 285 weight class. Ryan plans to attend SEMO and play football in the fall. His major is undecided right at the moment, but I can't say enough how proud I am of Ryan and his accomplishments, not only in football and wrestling, but in the classroom, because he has grown and matured far beyond any goals that I had had for him. So congratulations, Ryan.
Next presenter also could not be here today, but Coach Ron Wilhelm of Northwest sent me a statement to read on his behalf about his wrestler, Ben Stallman. Ben had an outstanding season for the Lions. Ben's the captain of this year's team, and his accomplishments are very impressive. He set a new Northwest record for wins in a season with 52. The old mark of 51 was held by former Northwest standout Jake Watercott. Ben qualified for state at 138 pounds and finished 5th in the state to earn all state honors. He's now a 2-time state qualifier and will be looking to improve on that 5th place finish next season. He's currently competing in one of the most prestigious tournaments in the country, the NHSCA National Tournament in Virginia Beach, Virginia. He'll attempt to earn All-American honors at this event. He's not only an outstanding wrestler, but a model student as well. He serves on our school student council and gives back to our Junior Lions wrestling program. That's from Coach Ron Wilhelm of Northwest. Please give a big round of applause for Ben Stallman. So our next presenter coach is right here in St. Genevieve. He was the Dream Team Coach of the Year back in 2013. They sent 12 wrestlers to state this year out of 14 weight classes, and the Dragons finished 3rd place as a team. I also want to give him a big thanks for helping me set up today before the ceremony. Please welcome Jared Bennell from the St. Genevieve Dragons.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Not to be a little redundant, but you can't congratulate these athletes enough. Like Coach Freeman said, that they spend a large amount of time going to practices. You know, even I know a lot of these athletes come in before and stay after, and it's a tribute to them. So I'd like to congratulate the Dream Team coaches on their Dream Team athletes and coaches on their outstanding seasons. I would also like to thank KREI and KTJJ for their coverage on putting on the Dream, for the coverage and putting on the Dream Team. even though they almost got me in trouble because I'm missing my niece's first birthday today. But we appreciate all they do for the athletes in this area. I'd like to thank the parents, teachers, and administration for supporting these young men throughout their busy seasons. There's a lot of times that they have to leave early or may leave halfway through the day, and they always do a great job working with these athletes on making up assignments when they miss, so we really appreciate that. I'd also like to thank my coaching staff, Brian Geck, Nick Vogt, and Justin Raw, for all the early mornings, late nights, and long weekends they put forth during the season. Most of you know because you're here, and there's a reason your athletes are here, but there's no such thing as a 3-month sport if you're serious about it. It's 9 to 12 months, and all these athletes, I guarantee you, put that time in multiple sports throughout the season. I would also like to thank the local businesses in St. John for supporting the wrestlers throughout the season. And I'd like to thank my wife and kids. There's a lot of times I'm in the room, but I'm not really in the room, if you know what I mean. And they know I have a passion for coaching and a love for wrestling, and they allow me to be a coach and mentor these kids, and I couldn't have done it without them. So my first athlete is Tanner Jones. He's the one in the middle. His parents are Larry and Kelly Jones. He's a senior this year, wrestled 132 for us. His record was 47-6. His achievements this year, he was first at Westminster, 5-0 in the Farmington Duels, 9th at Harrisonville, 4th at Branson Invite, 1st at SEMO Conference, 1st at Districts, and he took 3rd at the Missouri State Championships. Senior Tanner Jones finished his career at St. John as a St. John wrestler with 132 wins and 31 losses. Of those 132 wins, 88 came by fall, and 32 of those falls were this year. Tanner ended his career at St. John as a 2-time conference champ, 2-time district champ, 4-time state qualifier, being a 2-time state medalist of those 4 years, 4th in 2014 and 3rd this year in 2015. Tanner returned this year determined to compete and hopefully win a state championship. And while Tanner did not quite reach his goal of a state championship, he still had a remarkable season and career. Tanner wrestled through most of the senior year battling pre-existing injuries. He had a tough draw at the state tournament where he matched up with the current state champ in the semis. Some would argue that that semifinal match was the true finals match. At least I believe that. Tanner lost his semis and then tore through the backside of his bracket, pinning the next competitor and majoring his third-place opponent, whom he wrestled with a 1-point match the year before at the state tournament. I believe Tanner's work ethic, dedication, and strong will propelled him through the rough spots in the season. Tanner plans attending college and possible continuing his wrestling career. Tanner has been a great leader in our program, and I wish him the best of luck in his endeavors. The next athlete I'm going to talk to you about is Tyler Jones. You are seeing double, but they are brothers. So Tyler Jones, parents of Larry and Kelly Jones. Tyler wrestled 145 this year. He had a record of 32-5. His season achievements: 1st at Westminster, 5-0 at Farmington Duels, 5th at Harrisonville, 1st at District, 2nd in the Missouri State Championships. Senior Tyler Jones finished his career as a St. John wrestler with 127 wins and 36 losses. Of those 127 wins, 78 came by fall. Tyler ended his career at St. John as a 3-time district champ, 4-time state qualifier, 2-time medalist, in which he placed 4th in 2011, and he took 2nd this year in 2015. Tyler had a rough year battling injury. In early January, he broke his hand in a match against the same wrestler he'd wrestled at the state tournament just a month later. Throughout the month of January and February, Tyler continued to work out, cast and all. He stayed in our room most days doing plate workouts and interval work on the elliptical. Tyler's timeline for returning to the mat was set for the Wednesday before districts. Missing a lot of tournaments, Tyler was upset, but I believe that pushed him even harder in his conditioning. After just a month before the district tournament, Tyler was released. Tyler wasn't fully healed, and he still showed signs of fracture, but his drive to compete for himself and his team was a deciding factor. Tyler wrestled several close but controlled matches at the state tournament. His hand was still painful to use, but he kept grinding out one match at a time. Tyler made the finals, and in his match came down to just seconds left in the match when he took his opponent to near fall but wasn't awarded the points as time expired. Tyler's plans to attend college with plans to focus on working in conservation or state and national parks. Tyler's hard work and leadership will be missed. Tyler Jones. My last athlete is Ethan Vaith, parents Joe and Debbie Vaith and Diane Samples. Ethan wrestled 220 and 285. He ended the season wrestling 285 for us. He ended the season with a record of 51 and 2. His team awards this year were most pins, most wins, takedowns, most valuable wrestler. His senior achievements: first at Westminster, 5-0 at the Farmington Duels, third at Harrisonville, 4-0 at St. John Duels, second at Branson, first at the CMO Conference, first at Districts, and the 2015 Missouri State Champion, heavyweight state champion. Senior Ethan Vaith finished his career as a St. John wrestler with 132 wins and 54 losses. Of those 132 wins, 75 came by fall, and 38 of those falls were this year, which I believe tied the season record for most falls this year. Ethan ended his career in St. John as a 2-time conference champ, 3-time district champ, 4-time state qualifier, winning his senior year Missouri heavyweight state champ. Ethan's junior year ended in devastating fashion, which did not allow him to wrestle at the state tournament. At the conclusion of the state tournament, Ethan immediately started working in preparation for the next season with one goal in mind: a state championship. Ethan entered his senior season wrestling 220 and occasionally bumping to wrestle heavyweight as needed in dual meets. We quickly began to see Ethan was dominating the heavyweight class. After knocking off 2 of the top-ranked heavyweights in pretty convincing fashion within about a week of one another, we began to talk about the possibilities of putting him at heavyweight for the district tournament. We were a little worried about him giving up so much weight, only weighing about 215 at his heaviest, but we were confident this was the best route for him to win a state championship. Ethan's hard work would prove to pay off at the state tournament as he captured the Class II Missouri Heavyweight State Championship. Ethan is the first heavyweight state champ in St. John school history. He has plans to join the Marines after high school, but is undecided if he is going to wrestle. But given the opportunity, he would like to wrestle for the Marines. His leadership and hardworking attitude will be missed. Ethan Vaith. Thank you.
It's time now to present our wrestler and coach of the year for the 2015 J98 KREI KJF Dream Team. Our wrestler of the year, and we'll ask that you come get your plaque from Tommy, and then you can go back to your seat once you get your plaque. Coach, again, we'll ask that you come up and say a few words in acceptance of the award for Coach of the Year. But our wrestler of the year wrestles heavyweight for his team. 51-2 record and a state champion, Ethan Vaith from St. Genevieve. I was trying to figure out how I could do that since he was going back there to get his picture taken. So I was trying to make that as least awkward as possible. It didn't happen that way, though. For our Coach of the Year, it's the second time in 3 years he's won this award. Jared Bennell, also from St. Genevieve.
I need to water my mouth's dry after all that talking. They called me back up. I just want to say thanks to all the coaches that voted for me. Honestly, I can't do it alone. I have a great coaching staff, a great support staff at home, and great athletes. Great, I'm humbled to be around such hardworking young men that give me opportunities like this, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for the Wrestling Dream Team 2015. We move on now to girls basketball, and our first presenter in girls basketball coaches team to the MAAA Small Schools Championship this year. This is their third straight 20-plus win season from Arcadia Valley High School, Adam Waddell.
I'd like to also thank J98 for their coverage and for putting this on for the athletes. As has already been said, I'd like to congratulate the athletes also. It is a huge accomplishment. This takes in so many kids, and so it's great for them to be able to be on a team like this. I'd also like to thank the coaches for voting for a very deserving young woman, Arcadia Valley's Anna Thomas. And I'd like to thank her parents. I know, or all the parents too. To have a kid achieve something like this, I know it takes a lot of hours from you guys too. But they're great people. As I've said in many interviews, when I've been asked about my team and about my kids, I'm always able to say they're just great kids on and off the court. And that can definitely be said about Anna. She's a very high character person. She's very respectful. She's basically every coach's dream. She does exactly what you want her to do all the time. She's a great student. She's number one in her class, which is a huge achievement there too. And this is her senior year, which I hate to even think about, but she's it's going to be tough to lose her this year. But she's involved in a lot of clubs. She's very active in the school, even outside of the sports. But as far as basketball goes, she's played in 107 games for us, and she started every single one of those games for me. She's been a 4-year starter. She's never missed a game, never missed a practice. Like I said, she's done everything I could possibly ask. When I give her stats, they're really good stats, but they may not be as good as some of the other kids. But I think the biggest reason for that is because she is a total team player. We talk a lot about that, and I know all coaches do. But and she's definitely bought into that, and that's just the type of person that she is. But that's the only thing she's ever been worried about is the wins. Not her individual statistics. And so once again, that's what you ask for. But this year she averaged 13.4 points per game, 2.8 rebounds, 0.6 blocks, 3 steals, 2.6 assists. She shot 43% from the field, shot an amazing 49% from the three-point line, which I kept hoping it was going to stay at the 50, but, we missed it right at the end there. But, that's still just an amazing percentage. In her 4 years, she scored 1,501 total points. She got that right there in the last game of district finals. She's had 323 rebounds, 54 blocks, 345 steals, and 274 assists. She's led us to 75 wins in her 4 years. As I said already, 3 straight small school conference championships and 3 straight 20-plus win seasons, 2 second-place finishes in district, a second, a third, and a 5th place finish in our conference tournaments, 2 seconds and a 4th in the Christmas tournaments, and 2 thirds and a 4th in our Potosi tournament. Like I said, she's a great athlete. She's good at everything she does. She's been all conference, all district, and all state and cross country and track. For her basketball, she's been 4 years a first team all conference, 4 years all district. She's been all region. This is her 3rd straight time to be on the dream team. And she's been our team MVP every year. She's been my captain every year, which is kind of weird. Some people didn't like it, I don't think, when I put her a freshman as my captain. But, it was pretty obvious when she came in that she needed to be one of my captains. Like I said, she's just everything you could ask for. She's a great leader. She's the hardest working kid I know. And like I said, we're definitely going to miss her. She's going to go on to SEMO next year to continue her education on a scholarship to continue her running career. But, to finish up, I just want to thank you, Anna, for everything you've done. Like I said, we're going to miss you, but I know your influence is going to be felt, throughout the program for years. And so thank you for everything you've done. Anna Thomas.
Some of these kids that are going to be honored today have been to this ceremony more than I have. She's one of them. Our next presenter could not be here today, unfortunately. his player is playing in an AAU basketball game, and as competitive as she is, she wasn't going to miss out on the chance to play some basketball today. So I will be saying a few words on behalf of Rob Harlow for his athlete, JC Skaggs from Bunker High School. JC is a junior. She stands at 6 foot, wears number 24. She averaged 24.6 points per game this year, 13.5 rebounds per game, and 4 block shots. She was All-State last season, Conference Player of the Year in both the conferences that they play in. And she led the team to 3 consecutive district championships. She's a member of FBLA, Math Club, Beta, Science Club, Cadet, Teacher/Tutor. Also, just found out a couple of days ago that she was named the Class 1 Girls Basketball Player of the Year by the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association this year. And one thing that I've found out about JC Skaggs, covering her the past couple of years, is if Bunker was a little bit more centrally located in the J98 listening area, and what I mean by that is if they played more teams maybe from Jefferson County and more teams from the MAAA, I think JC would have been on the Dream Team last year for sure, and maybe the year before that. If you see her, you know that's a Dream Team athlete. Please give it up for JC Skaggs from Bunker. Our next presenter is the first coach to lead an MAAA team to a state championship in basketball, that's girls or boys, since 1944. The team's current winning streak sits at 27 straight, and he is 56-3 in 2 seasons as head coach from Central High School in Park Hills, Josh Mapes.
It is bright up here, Glenn.
It is. I apologize.
All right, I'd like to first thank J98 for all the coverage they do, but I do have to ask if you guys quit doing the webcast, because during the season, Chad Allen called and said, "Coach, when did you guys start playing man-to-man?" I'm like, "Were you at the game?" He's like, "No, I watched it at home from my couch." He also said, if you're going to steal our plays, at least don't call them the same thing. He said, "You guys ran our secondary break and called it Bearcat." I'm here today on the behalf of Sydney Skaggs, Kinsey Jones, and Megan Skaggs. Megan couldn't make it today because she was playing a basketball game. Yay. I can't really put into words how special these girls are. They are great role models to our younger athletes. They're great students. They excel in the classroom. They go above and beyond. They're the first ones at every practice, and they're the last ones to leave. They represented our community and school very well. They play the game like they should, with dignity and class. They always put their teammates first. They would rather see their teammates succeed than themselves. They never really want to be put in the spotlight. They're probably uncomfortable right now standing up here. At least you guys don't have to speak, though. They're both in the top 10% of their class, and Megan is as well. They are both high-character kids. They have great work ethic. They're dedicated, hardworking, goal-oriented. All the goals they set, they pretty well accomplished this year. No matter what career path they choose, they're going to be successful because of their great work ethic. The best compliment I could give these girls is when my daughters grow up, I hope they're just like these two, the way they act on the floor and off the floor. I've already realized my daughters aren't going to be 6 foot tall. I would wish for that, but it's probably out. But hopefully they can handle the ball as well as Kinsey. Heck, even my son, he's playing today and left, and he said, we got a goal in our living room. He goes, "Dad, what do you want me to do now?" I'm like, "Well, you can't dribble with your left hand. Start doing that." He goes, "How about a pull-up jumper like Kinsey Jones?" I said, "That'll work too." Just some things they've done as a team the past few years. These are both 4-year starters. They've won the Potosi tournament 1 time, the Christmas tournament 3 times. They've been conference champs twice. They've won the conference tournament 4 times. In the past 2 seasons, they've compiled a record of 56-3. We lost to St. James and Dexter twice. They set a school record with 30 wins in a season. Right now, we currently have a 27-game winning streak as well. The past 2 seasons, we've also went 20-0 at home, and that was one of their main goals, to not lose a home game their last 2 years. Also, in first time in school history, these two led our team to the Final Four, and we were fortunate enough to win the state championship. Megan Skaggs. Megan is a 3 times all-conference player, 3-time all-district, 2-time all-region. This year, she was also announced as the first-team all-state team. Megan was a team captain. She scored over 1,000 points in her career. She's an all-conference, all-district volleyball player as well. Some of her clubs include Pep Club, C Club, Student Council, FCA, and Student Advisory. Megan averaged 21 points and 11 rebounds, and she was a great player for us, so I'm glad to have her back next year as well. Megan Skaggs. Sydney Skaggs. Sydney was a 4-year starter. She's an all-conference player 3 times, all-district player 4 times, all-region player 3 times. Last year, she was a member of the All-State Team Class 4. This year, she was a member of the All-State Team Class 3, and she was named last week Class 3 State Player of the Year. She also scored over 1,000 points in her career and had 1,000 rebounds as well. That's kind of amazing, really. Sydney was also an all-conference volleyball player 2 years, all-district volleyball player 2 years. She averaged 17 points a game this year for us, 12 rebounds, and she really stepped up from districts on and got us to the state title and got us our banner that she really wanted. Sydney Skaggs. Kinsey Jones. Kinsey was an all-conference player 3 times, all-district player 3 times, all-region player once. Kinsey scored her 1,000th career point this year. She also had over 500 assists and 300 steals in her career. An ultimate compliment I can give her is she went 95-18 as a starting point guard at Central. That's an amazing record, and those wins couldn't have came without you. She was also an all-conference, all-district volleyball player 2 times. She averaged 15 points and 5 assists a game. There was no one I was more hard on than Kinsey. Honestly, when things didn't go well, I blamed her even though it wasn't her fault. I'm not going to apologize, but I believe she's the most underrated player in our area. I mean, we couldn't have done what we did without her. I'm proud of you. I'm proud to coach you guys. I love you guys. When somebody told me you made those girls' dreams, no, you guys made mine this year, and thank you for the memories. Better than the ring, the banner that we're going to have, the best memories I have of you guys is when you walked off the state game and you gave me a hug. That's a memory I'll never forget. Thank you, guys.
Didn't realize I'd have to apologize for our great coverage causing problems for coaches when we did that. It's not the first time I've heard that, though. It is a great scouting tool if you ever want to use our web TV archive videos at mymoinfo.com to scout your opponents. It's free. Go ahead and do it. Our next presenter, it was our first year as head coach this year. Please welcome Barb Adams of the Clearwater Tigers.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my first year. I'm thrilled to be here, honored, and be here to present Lexi Morris. And especially being a first-year coach, I was happy to have an all-stater on my team. I'd previously assisted with the softball team, so I knew what a great athlete Lexi is, and I was honored to be her coach. Before the season even started, she'd already broke all our school's records, from the girls when she was a sophomore to the boys last year. So she started her season with 2,205 points already, when most people just dream of scoring 1,000 points in their career. But Lexi led our offense again this year with 660 points in 22 games for a 30 average, and her career total ended up being 2,885 points. Just a remarkable achievement. But before coaching Lexi, I was a fan. I'd been at many of her high school games because my daughter played softball with her. But she amazed me by her natural shooting ability. She could knock down threes like anybody. But this year, I realized what an all-around player she was. She worked hard in the paint. She amazed me because every game, because of everybody knows how Lexi could score, she had 2 and 3 people hanging on her at every time she went to put up a shot. And this year, she was so strong, she knocked down 61% of her shots, her twos. I really appreciate your hard work, Lexi. We may have struggled as a team, but we worked hard and we had fun. She was my only varsity player that returned from last year with a bunch of freshmen. And we did have a winning record, and I was proud of that and happy to be here for you. This is our 4th year on the Dream Team, and we think you did a great job, and your parents and grandparents, teammates, and all the coaches are very proud of you and happy about your accomplishments. Thank you so much. Thanks, Lex.
4 for 4 on Dream Team appearances and the returning Dream Team Player of the Year. I'd say she's had a pretty good career. Next up, our coach could not be here today, but here to speak in her place. Kim Kingsland is the head coach of DeSoto. Here to speak in her place, assistant coach of the DeSoto Lady Dragons, Coach Chuck Miller.
Coach Kingsley wants to send her regrets for not being able to be here today, but she is on a cruise that was supposed to be a wedding cruise, but unfortunately it has turned into a celebration of life because it was for her brother that passed away back in January, so that's where she's at today. It is bright up here. Maybe I can do better without my glasses on. Our dream team player is Faith Chereau, and she's the daughter of Deb and Wade Chereau. And it is very unusual because she is a freshman. And for a freshman to make dream team is very, very big honor. This year she's averaged 17.7 points a game. She also set the school record for the most three-pointers in the season with 85. That record was set in 1991. And it was previously 77, so Faith broke that pretty good. She also is a 78% free throw shooter, which has really helped our team this year. And one of her biggest games that she had was against Festus. That was basically for the conference championship. She had 30 points, and she went 10 for 10 from the free throw line for that big night. Now, just a little thing about Faith. Being a freshman, we don't have a lot of career stats, so we have to go off just a little genres that we have about her. But since she's the youngest of three girls, all three have been in our program. She's comes out being the only freshman with 4 seniors on the team and 4 juniors. And in our team, we have a tendency to, you don't get to pick a nickname. It's almost like the Howard Wolowitz of Big Bang Theory, by be careful what you say because you don't know what your nickname may become. And she was kind of telling her dad that we were always calling her Baby Chereau, and she really didn't like that she'd like something like maybe Sniper because she's a three-point shooter. So during one of our controlled scrimmages, she's going up and down the floor, and she hits 3 threes in a row. And Kelsey Kingsland, our big post player, turned around to her and said, well, we got a new nickname for you. It's Baby Snipe instead. So, you know, being the youngest on the team, you got to kind of go with that. Maybe by the time she's a senior, maybe it'll just become Sniper by the time she becomes a senior. Faith also added a big thing to our team. Our team has won 3 conference championships in the last 4 years, but we've never had an outside shooter. And with this year, with Faith coming on the team and gave us that outside shooter, took some pressure off our inside, we were able to go 20-6. We have not had a 20-win season since 1985, I believe, or 95. Faith kind of added that, so it gave us a 20-win season. She's not only the best athlete, but more importantly, she's also a pretty top-notch student and a well-rounded person. She's currently ranked #1 in her class. She's also very active in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She's also one of those people, she'd rather give up all her stats that she has in order to have a team championship. She's also one of the last people to leave the floor every practice, and there's been practices when I'm trying to get all the balls together, lock everything up, and she's still shooting on the floor because she tells, you know, she's saying, I got to have one more, I got to have one more, I got to have that one perfect shot. So she's always into that. Faith basically started basketball when she was 3 years old, when she found a basketball and started dribbling around the house. She also has a tendency to watch the old Pete Maravich dribbling videos at home. So if you ever notice on the floor, she can handle the ball pretty well. Some of her honors that she's gotten this year as a freshman, she's a first team all-conference, she's all district. She made our leader publication first team. She also was elected as the player of the year for the leader publication, and now she's a dream team selection. She is also chasing some other records. She's second all-time as a freshman with 460 points. The leader has 547. The leader also is our #1 scorer of all time and just happens to be her cousin, Jamie Miller. Faith is also tied with her cousin, Lindsay Miller, currently as 37th out of 237 all-time on our scoring list. And I'm sure she has her sights set on one of the players we had this year with Kelsey Kingsland ranked 3rd, and Faith, with the current record or pace that she's on, should have no trouble passing that. And then she's looking at going after Kim Mann, and then, of course, her cousin, Jamie. To reach those goals, that's pretty good for DeSoto because we keep our records. And like I said, there's 237 girls that have played varsity basketball since the resurgence of girls basketball, and this is our 40th year. Okay. And then the last thing we got that Coach wanted to say on here is she just wants to wish Faith a whole lot of luck and a lot of prosper in her next 3 years as coaching. and she hopes that she can be a Dream Team member for the next 3 years also. Thank you, Faith Chereau.
Our next presenter has led his team to 30 wins in the previous 2 seasons. Please give it up for Scott Davis from Fredericktown.
I'd just like to start off again by thanking J98 and KREII for this banquet and the coaches and the players that are all honored. I know it's been said, but the time that you've put in, coaches, with these players to make them the athletes they are, and you young athletes, the time and the effort that you put into what you love, it's just greatly appreciated. Paige Godsey Jr. is the daughter of Terry and Karen Godsey. She has been a member of the varsity volleyball team Beta Club Student Council for 3 years. Her sophomore year, she was all-conference, all-district. This year, second team all-conference, first team all-district, and, of course, the Dream Team. The first thing I'd like to say about Paige is I've coached 20 years, and I've had 2 really special athletes, and she's one of them. The first one was a young man in 1996 at Hollister High School who later got drafted by the Cardinals in baseball, and then now Paige. And when I came into this job, I knew that I was getting a special young lady. She epitomizes what a coach wants out of their athlete. From the minute she gets on the floor, it is nonstop, 100% effort until the minute she leaves the gym. It doesn't matter what kind of day she's had. It doesn't matter how she's feeling, but she is completely dedicated to the game of basketball. And we've sat down a little bit. I don't know what her future plans are. She's got a couple of things in mind, but I know that whatever she does, she is going to have complete success just because of her strong work ethic and her attitude and how she approaches things that she loves and cares about. This year, Paige led us in scoring at 14 points a game. She also led our team in assists at 5.1, which tells you the complete player that she is. She is an all-around team player. She led our team in steals, and you know that's one of the things that I appreciate about Paige is it's not about putting the ball in the hole, and I've heard other coaches talk about this, but it's getting the win, doing whatever it takes to get the victory, and she's the type of girl that makes everybody around her a better player. When they step into the gym and they see her work ethic and how she approaches the game, it makes them raise their level. They look up to her, and a lot of our young athletes already know who she is as a junior and how she plays the game. And I teach in the middle school, and I hear our young athletes talking about Paige and how they want to be like her, and that's a attribute to her that she can affect young athletes on that level. And they want to emulate her and her game. She, on the floor, Paige makes, like I said, everybody better. But one thing that I am looking forward to with her having her come back next year is what she can bring to the team next year as far as her leadership and her work ethic. And I'm extremely proud of all of her accomplishments. I'm proud of the young lady that she is. And I'm just want to thank her and her parents because they put in a lot of time into what she does. And I'm looking forward to what she can bring to the team next year. Thank you, Paige.
If you look in your program, our next presenter was the 2009 Boys Basketball Coach of the Year with the Farmington Knights. This year, he led his girls team to a district championship and its first ever sectional win. Did not have a losing season in 4 years with the team. From North County High School, Joe Arnold.
Courtney is the daughter of Don and Larry Kekek. When I came to North County 4 years ago, Courtney was an incoming freshman. So in her 4 years at North County girls basketball, she's been a 4-year starter for us. Since her sophomore year, she's made all conference, all district, all region. She's a Dream Team recipient last year and this year. And this year she scored 1,000 points. Not this year, in her 4 years. She's a 1,000-point recipient. And if you watched any of our games, you would also notice that she, as a point guard, could distribute the basketball to her teammates very well. So I would, even though assists are hard to keep sometimes, some people have different definitions of what an assist is, but I would say in her 4 years there at North County, she probably is responsible for another 1,500 points for her teammates of the assists that she has dished out to them. Courtney is an amazing athlete. I've coached this game a long time. That's why I have gray hair. She probably the hardest working athlete I've ever coached, and I'm not just saying that because she's up there. It truly is a statement to say about her. She is such a hard-working athlete that she does so much of physical activity off the basketball court to the point where I would even pull her aside and say, hey, look now, I'm having to play you every minute of every game, and I need you off the court to take things easy, you know, to limit some of your whatever she's doing, to workouts and stuff, so that you don't get worn down by the end of the season. Just as I've had some college coaches who've talked to me about her when they've watched her play, they just say, wow, she says, her motor never quits, and that's true. Dives on the floor after basketballs, probably has the ugliest knees, you know, of any player you've ever seen. In fact, almost was in question for the sectional game of being able to play because of an infection in a knee from an earlier floor burn. And like I said, just the hardest working athlete I've ever coached. And also probably, and this is a positive compliment, okay, but also the most determined athlete. Some people may call that hard-headed because one of my nicknames for her was Hickory Nut Head, but also the most determined and competitive athlete I've ever coached. You know, some players, kids today and players today, and I know a lot of the athletes up here would understand this with some of their teammates, but, you know, when some players lose a game, you know, when the game's over, they're okay, they're over it because they got this out on the way home, you know, and they get over it in a hurry. But, you know, I could see coming to practice the next day after a tough loss or something, it was still bugging her. And so, and she was just trying to find ways, you know, for the team to be a little bit more successful and what more she could do. So she was just a very, very determined athlete. She's going to be extremely missed by North County High School, not only athletically but also academically. She's number 3 in her class, I believe that's what she is. Works extremely hard on her studies, is a multi-sport athlete. She's been an all-conference, all-district, all-state athlete in volleyball. As far as the academics goes, again, she was also this year an academic all-state recipient, which is not many athletes can put that on their wall and say that. So just an amazing person to coach, amazing talent. She's not done playing basketball yet. She is going to be playing basketball somewhere next year. We're not going to tell you who or where that is, but she does have offers ranging from some junior colleges to Division II, Division III schools, and she does have 2 full-ride Division I offers waiting out there. She has another visit to make before she makes a final decision. So the amount of work and effort that she has done is definitely going to allow her to get her education paid for at a higher level. And I said before, the school is truly going to miss her. Her teammates are going to miss her, and just trying to reflect the type of person she is. 2 of her teammates are here for her, even today. That's kind of the kid that she has been, and the type of person she's been for her teammates in the last 4 years. I was lucky enough, and not many coaches can say this, that I've coached her and I coached her mom. So that's how old I am. Okay, but I was lucky enough to coach her mom her senior year, and yes, your mom was a game changer, just like you were, Courtney. That's a joke we've had. But just comes from a tremendous family, and I know I'm going to miss them tremendously, but not enough to come back and do practice every day and all the summer stuff because I was done coaching. So, but in Courtney Kekek, North County High School.
Yeah, well, Coach Joe Arnold is riding off into the sunset. Let's hear it for Coach Arnold, by the way. See if he actually stays retired this time, though. When I do Dream Team interviews with the kids, I usually try to steer the interview in more of like a sentimental direction, ask about the parents, stuff like that. That's why they pay me the big bucks. I do what I do. But with Courtney, players like Courtney, it gets to a point where it's like, how's Don and Larry doing? We just have it memorized. We know everything about the kid by the time we've interviewed him for the 6th or 7th time. So definitely going to be sad to see a lot of these seniors graduate this year from our standpoint as well. Our next presenter is the 2010 Coach of the Year. Led his team to a JCAA Small Schools Conference Championship this season from St. Pius High School, Aaron Portell.
It's my pleasure to stand up here and talk a little bit about Alex Linder. Alex is the daughter of Kirk and Monica. Alex, I first want to congratulate you on a great 4 years. It has been enjoyable to watch you grow as a player and a person. I've been coaching since 2000, and for 10 of those years, I've coached both boys and girls. I've coached several great players. Garrett McDowell, which is the boys' all-time leading scorer at St. Pius. Gabby Moser, which is the only all-state basketball player at St. Pius. Melissa Collins, which was the girls' all-time leading scorer. All great players, and I have great memories of all of them. But after coaching Alex for 4 years and getting to know her and watching her play and grow, I realize now that there's something truly special about her. She has truly been the best player I've coached and probably will ever coach. I've been watching Alex play basketball from the time she was in 7th grade and was eagerly waiting her arrival. Alex did not disappoint. She actually exceeded my expectations. Since arriving at St. Pius your freshman year, you have helped our program grow and have provided tremendous leadership along the way. Alex had a tremendous career at St. Pius. She's been a varsity starter for all 4 years. She's been our leading scorer all 4 of those years. She's been a team captain for the last 2 years. Alex has been a member of the Dream Team the last 3 years. She's been selected to all-district team all 4 years. She's been the first team all-conference all 4 years and was the MVP of our conference the last 2 years. Alex ends her basketball career at St. Pius as the all-time leader in points scored with 1,360. She's also the all-time leader at St. Pius in three-pointers made in a career with 145. And she set a school record for best free throw percentage in a season this year when she shot 78% from the line. But Alex does not just specialize in basketball. Alex has also had a tremendous soccer career. Alex was the first team All-State last year and has helped the soccer team make it to state the last 3 years. She won the title in 2012. I'm extremely proud of what Alex has done on the court these last 4 years, but more proud of what she has done for St. Pius outside of the basketball. Alex is a senior class president. She is a member of the National Honor Society and Student Council. Alex is also a student ambassador and a student mentor. Alex has understood the concept of priorities and lived them for 4 years. I've seen Alex feel the exhilaration of making a play at the end of the game to win, to the disappointing of realizing that her career has ended. In the end, Alex, I hope you understand that winning, though it was fun, and losing, which sometimes is hard to accept, those aren't really what matter. What matters most are those people around you, your teammates and coaches, and that journey you undertook 4 years ago. Alex, has been a pleasure and honor to have coached you these last 4 years. You have been a role model for the younger players and have served the program well as an ambassador for St. Pius. The work ethic, class, and leadership you exhibited as a player these last 4 years will also allow you to achieve excellence in your career at Mizzou and the health profession. As you reflect on your memories at St. Pius as a basketball player, keep in mind the friendship and memories you'll enjoy for a lifetime. Alex, once again, I'm proud of what you accomplished and more proud of who you became. And I'm going to miss you.
As you can imagine, it was an extremely tight race for girls basketball player of the year this year. But our recipient had an amazing season with 21 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, averaging a double-double. Led her team to a 30-1 record and a state championship, Megan Skaggs from Park Hill Central. Again, she's not here today. She's playing basketball, but we'll get the award sent home, probably with Sydney, and make sure she gets that. For our Coach of the Year, again, we ask you to come up and say a few words, and it's kind of a no-brainer when you win a state championship and go 30-1. From Central, Josh Mapes. And this is the second straight year that Josh Mapes has won this award, won it last year in Class 4 as well.
Thank you. It's truly an honor. I appreciate all you coaches voting for me, but this couldn't be done without great assistant coaches and, most importantly, 3 great players like Megan, Sydney, and Kinsey. I appreciate everything you guys done. Without you guys, I wouldn't have done this. I'd also like to thank some of the coaches I had along the way. My baseball coach, Whitey Lawson, my basketball coach, Cy Bradley. They were great influences to me. And also, there's some people out there sitting that I've bugged to death and begged them to go in their gym, watching practice. Coach Hell has helped me out. He's came to our practices, helped with the matchup. Coach Dinkins has sit down with me on a couple occasions and just talk basketball. I appreciate you guys for willing to help a first-year coach out a couple years ago. Thanks.
Let's hear it again for the 2015 Girls Basketball Dream Team. That's right, get loud, get into it. This is a party, not a funeral. All right, next up, boys basketball. And our first presenter also could not be here today, but we do have someone here to speak in his place. Presenting for Mike Harlow will be the assistant basketball coach for the Central Rebels, the 2013 Girls Basketball Coach of the Year when he was at Fredericktown. Please welcome Adam Barton.
All right, thank you very much. First off, thank you for this wonderful banquet. Radio guys do a great job. Congratulations to all the parents and athletes and coaches. This truly is an honor. Everybody should be very proud of the work they put in. As you said, Coach Harlow couldn't be here today. He gave me a few things he wanted me to share with you about Jake, plus I will also give you my 2 cents on Jake as well. I'll try to be nice. It's with great pleasure that I get to recognize Jake Bridges as a Dream Team member. Jake is a junior at Central High School, and he's the son of Jason and Kelly Bridges. Jake is a 3-sport athlete at CHS, excelling in basketball, football, and baseball. He is a member of the Student Council, C Club, Rebel Student Awareness, Student Advisory, PEP Club, National Honor Society, and president of the junior class. Jake is the epitome of the phrase student athlete. He carries an unweighted GPA of 3.94 out of 4 and ranks 6th in his class out of 145. Jake is a true team leader who leads both vocally and by example. This is why he's the point guard on the basketball team, the quarterback on the football team, and the shortstop on the baseball team, all leadership positions. He is a true talent and a born leader. He has a tremendous work ethic and always leaves everything on the court. I remember the first time I heard the name Jake Bridges. I was driving in my car. It was when he was a freshman several years ago. And I was listening to the Class 4 district championship game, or maybe it was a semifinal. And I kept hearing the radio announcer go, Bridges for 3, Bridges for 3. And I remember I follow basketball in our area pretty closely at that time. And I looked at the person I'm riding with. I said, who's Jake Bridges? Never heard of this guy. And the announcer just continued to say his name and then began to tell the story of an unlikely freshman who had played JV all year and was dressed out for the district tournament and came out and hit, 5-7 threes in a couple games, 17, 18 points, and led Central to their first ever Class 4 district championship. From that tournament on, Jake Bridges has pretty well been a household name in the MAAA. He's been a big reason why we've won 2 district championships, 2 Christmas tournament championships, 1 conference championship, all in the last 3 years. We made a state quarterfinal appearance this year with Jake as our point guard, and certainly could not have done that without him. Jake has had numerous individual accomplishments. He's been all conference, all district, all region, in football at several different positions. Of course, all conference and all district in basketball, dream team, football and basketball, all conference, all district in baseball. And while all those accomplishments are something to be proud of, to me, what's most amazing about Jake is Jake has already, as a junior in high school, has won 6 different district championships in 3 different sports, with spring baseball still to come and his entire senior year. It's conceivable, of course, things would have to go well, but Jake could leave high school with 8, 9, maybe even 10 district championships. I've never heard of anyone who's won that many district championships. You know, and they're all team sports, but I can tell you now, none of those would be possible without Jake. In closing, you know, I'd like to say, personally, my admiration for Jake comes from all of his hard work and dedication. Jake is a 3-sport athlete, and I think that those are a dying breed. Expectations in the off-season, expectations from school coaches, it's making that more and more difficult to do. You know, I was thinking about it on the way down here. Jake started doing high school athletics roughly junior year, or June after his 8th grade year, and has not stopped in any type of sport since for 4 straight years. That's a lot of time to put in. Jake loves it and wouldn't have it any other way, but he gets my admiration and respect for that. I've personally seen Jake on more than one occasion lift weights at 7 o'clock in the morning, play 2 basketball games in the afternoon, and pitch a baseball game all on the same day. It's really amazing what many of these kids go through and what they're able to accomplish. In closing, I would like to say that Jake is certainly deserving of this award, and no one works harder or is a better team leader than him. I look forward to next year and to having Jake back as our starting point guard and team leader. Again, congratulations to Jake and all the Dream Team members.
The next coach and athlete, for that matter, unable to attend the ceremony today. So I'll say a few words on behalf of Andy Beck, the Clearwater Tigers basketball coach, about his senior, Davon Slack. Davon averaged 19 points per game in his senior season, 5 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, plus 5 steals per game. He's a member of FBLA, Beta Club, and FCCLA. He's another one, kind of like J.C. Skaggs, playing in the Black River League, to where, you know, maybe if they played MAAA a little bit more, maybe if they played JCAA a little bit more, he could have been on the Dream Team his junior, maybe even sophomore year. I think another thing that might have hurt Davon the last couple of years and not making the Dream Team was the fact that he played on a team with some pretty good players. The last 2 years prior to this year, Clearwater had won back-to-back district championships in Class 3 with guys like Austin Ayers, Ethan Roach, both frequent members of this Dream Team. So maybe they caught a little bit more of the attention than Davon Slack. But you watch him play, and I get to watch him play quite a bit, covering, you know, various tournaments that he plays in, some regular season games as well. There's not too many slashers like Davon Slack that just get to the basket the way he does. He can finish at the rim. He can play above the rim. He's 6 foot, but he plays a lot bigger than 6 foot. He's one of those types of players. Also, he's got a really cool name, Davon Slack from Clearwater High School. For our next presenter, he was able to lead his team to a turnaround 20-win season this year from Ellington High School, Coach Jeff Berry.
Thank you for everything you do, guys, for us and the coverage. J98 The Boot. I'm here. It's a privilege to be here to present to you Marshawn Morrissey. He's a sophomore from Ellington High School. He's the son of Neil and Cricket Morrissey, a couple old fogies, but they're good people. He is a leader on and off the court. Marshawn really puts in a lot of effort in the off season. He's really started to hit the weights pretty hard this year. He's got a strong desire to win. He's part of our FCA program at the school that we're trying to build. He's an active member in our church. I'm fortunate to be able to go to church with him. A couple things about Marshawn. He's a 2-time all-conference player as a sophomore, 2-time all-district player as a sophomore. Each year he's got behind some really good players such as Daniel back here. In his short career, he's already scored 1,000 points. He eclipsed that in our district tournament this year, and he's also got over 500 rebounds, so that's pretty impressive. This year, he put in 21.8 points a game, 11 rebounds, shot 64% from the field. 40% from the three-point line, didn't shoot very many, and we're not going to mention his free throw percentage as it hurt down the stretch. This year's totals, much like last year's totals, as the numbers tell it, I can also contest that he'll be the first one to say that he's not able to do it by himself. He's got some great teammates around him. Although he may have scored 21 points a game, we had some other guys score some big numbers also. And he's the most unselfish player I know, most unselfish player I've ever been around, playing and coaching. He'll also tell you that unfortunately he doesn't have the opportunity to play against some of these athletes here because he's a grinder. We talked about how he really wants to play against the best of the best. And these athletes up here, both men and women, are the best of the best. And we don't get to see them very often, but when we do, we're extremely impressed with their skills. And kudos to you guys for all your efforts and everything you do. Marshawn Morrissey, sophomore from Southern Reynolds High School.
Something that stood out to me about Marshawn Morrissey when I interviewed him was the fact that he's really a student of the game, Coach. I mean, this guy really knows his stuff. He studies his opposition maybe a little bit more than a lot of high school players were. And I found it interesting when he came in. He had an epic battle in the district championship game against Valley Catholic and Daniel Berthold. The two guys are sitting right next to each other today. So Dream Team, I guess, brings people together. Up next, our presenter could not be here today, or actually, yes, he could. I almost skipped over Coach Callahan. Sorry about that. Our next presenter is the reigning Coach of the Year, as a matter of fact. In 2 stints and 10 total seasons as coach of this team, he still never had a losing season. Let that sink in. 177 total wins as head coach of the Farmington Knights, Justin Callahan.
All right, first of all, thank you, Glenn. Thank you, KTJJ, KREI, for all the work that you do, you and Chad and the rest of the gang, not just for recognizing these great athletes, but for your coverage throughout the year. You guys do a great job. I enjoy listening to you myself. It is my privilege to introduce this young man right here, Jordan Ankrum, son of Kirk and Rochelle Ankrum. And this is the 3rd time I've had the pleasure of doing this. Not too many, especially boys basketball players, can you say that about through the years. Jordan, excellent student, GPA 3.483. Didn't write down the rank. I think it's 37 out of mid 200s, so he's way up there. Excellent student. Some statistics on Jordan. 20.7 points per game this year, 11.1 rebounds, 1.7 assists, shot 54.7% from 2-point, 30.4 from 3-point, and an excellent 75% free throw percentage. The career stats at Farmington, he did break our school record. Ronnie Lashley held for about 13 years or so. Jordan has 1,601 career points. That's what he ended up with, #1 all time. Jordan, all conference for 3 years, all district 3 years. Missouri Basketball Coaches Association, all state for 2 years. They just announced last week, so he did get it again this year. Last year, Missouri Sports Writers and Broadcasters Association, I think 2nd team all state. I don't think those are out this year. I think possibly next week. Some accomplishments for the team in 4 years that Jordan played varsity basketball. He did play as a freshman and then started from his sophomore year on. 4 conference championships, including the record of 19-1 in those conference games over the last 4 years. 2 conference tournament championships. Just 1 district championship. If you look in your programs there, I guess the time means everything. The district championships, if you look, his freshman year, they lost to DeSoto. There's a young man named Jared White, who was the KTJJ Player of the Year, and I think there's a big boy named Ferguson to go along with him. So they lost to an outstanding team there. Coach Hell coached them that year, and then the next year, if you look in your program, you'll see the name Drew Skaggs, Player of the Year. We lost to Central in overtime that year. Also in part, that young man over there, Jake Bridges, that Coach Barton was saying, yeah, I remember those, who's this Jake Bridges, who's this Jake Bridges? We saw the semifinal game and said, we better watch him. And sure enough, as he was hitting three-pointers late in the game from behind the volleyball line, we found out about Jake Bridges right away. But again, tough competition. Last year, we finally got it done, won the district championship. Jordan helped lead us to the first Farmington team to ever win a state playoff game, and rode it all the way to the Final Four, and we had a lead, one minute left in the game, almost got to the championship game, just couldn't quite finish. And he was a huge part of that. And of course, this year, we got a young man sitting over here. I really think 1.9 seconds left in the half. We took a 2-point lead, and Mr. Coleman over here hits a three-pointer, not from behind the volleyball line, not from half court, but from the other end, three-point line. Just gave them all kinds of momentum, and I think they just kind of rode that into the third quarter, and they kind of pulled away from us. So tough breaks on the district, but we'll take that Final Four victory, our Final Four opportunity. When you look at Jordan here, I've heard Coach Arnold talking about it, and several coaches talking about, the work ethic and things like that. Coaching these basketball players, it can be tough because we promote sportsmanship and you want good kids. But let's face it, when you get out there on the floor, it's a tough game. Yeah, you got to fight, got to battle, got to work hard. But they got to do that at the same time, keeping her cool, being good sports. So I talk to the kids about being able to turn it on and off. And when you cross the lines, you got to be intense. You got to go hard. Okay, be a good sport. Okay, be a great kid, but you got to go hard. With Jordan, I never have to have that conversation. We never have to have that speech. What you see is what you get. If you're out here, you've probably seen Jordan play. Even the girls' teams, I know we cross over so much that we see each other play a lot. I know I've enjoyed watching some of these young ladies over here. But what you see in the game there, that just outstanding work ethic, going hard all the time, that's what we get every day in practice, that's probably why he's up here for 3 straight years. The sprints, he's going to win the sprints. The drills that we do, if it's competition, he's going to try to win, and he's going to give everything he's got. So it's been a pleasure working with Jordan. I took over 3 years ago, and he's been there, starting for me ever since. Again, unfortunately, this year I don't get to say, hey, the nice thing about Jordan is he's coming back next year. But we do thank you so much for all the work, Jordan. We wish him best of luck. Good news is he's not finished playing. He is going to continue playing the next 4 years. He just had a signing this week for Central Methodist University, so looking forward to that, and I know he's going to do well there. I think it's a really good fit. So, again, I present to you Mr. Jordan Ankrum.
It's our next presenter who could not be here today. So I'll say a few words about Kamal Kinder on behalf of his father, Anthony Kinder, who is the head coach of the Festus Tigers. I believe Kamal is playing in a basketball game today, Tommy, AAU. So obviously, if you have the chance to play or sit on the stage, I guess you can accept that anyway. So for Kamal Kinder, in his junior season this year, he averaged 21 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 3 assists, and 2 steals. He's also a member of the National Honor Society, and he's also very good in the classroom. He's ranked 10th in his class out of 175 students, and a GPA near perfect, 3.85 on a 4-point scale. During the Dream Team Selection Show, one thing Tommy and I talked about with Kamal Kinder and watching him play, I guess he's been probably starting since a freshman, right? At least since a sophomore. But watching him play is he makes everything look effortless, just so smooth, almost like he's gliding on the basketball court. And I'm sure coaches who have to game plan against him, you kind of start and stop with Kamal Kinder, and you can probably relate to what I just said. So let's hear it. Big round of applause for Festus Tiger, Kamal Kinder. For our next coach, it was his first year with the team, and he led them to their first 20-win season since 2003 and the first trip to the state playoffs since 1982. From the Potosi Trojans, Brett Hale.
All right, it is bright. like all the coaches have said, I want to thank J98 very much for putting this ceremony on and for all you do for our area and for these kids. And congratulations to all of you guys. This is a great honor. It is my pleasure today to present a three-time Dream Teamer, senior Dylan Coleman. Dylan is the son of Dave and Lorraine Coleman. When I took the job at Potosi, I had seen Dylan play, but from afar, and I knew I was getting a talented player, but I didn't really know what to expect exactly out of him. I'd had some people tell me that he didn't really like basketball that much, that he didn't work too hard at it. And I quickly figured out that those statements were incredibly false. I found a young man that was very passionate about basketball. I couldn't get him to leave the gym every day, and I really mean that. I had to kick him out on numerous occasions. And then I'd drive down the road after our 2-hour practice or whatever, and he'd be in the weight room at the gym for another 2 hours. And he's relentless at that, and his work ethic is just incredible. And there's a reason he was so physically dominant this year, but it's because he put in the time to be that way. Early in the year before we started practice, I asked Dylan what his goals were for the season, and he didn't think too much about it, and he said he wanted to win 5 championships. And we didn't quite get that done, but I think we got 3. But that's very indicative of him. You know, he has a lot of individual accomplishments, but he is very much about winning, and he's done a lot of that in his career for Potosi. I implored him a little bit further and asked what he wanted to do personally. What was his personal goals for the season? And he said first he wanted to get to the 2,000-point mark for his career. I said, okay, I kind of knew where he was at, and I thought that was doable. He would have to have a great season to do that, but I thought it was possible. And then he said he wanted to score 1,000 points in a season. And I thought that's probably ridiculous. But I said, okay, and we'll see what we can do. And he asked me what he needed to do that, and I said the first thing he needed to do is figure out how to make a free throw. And he never quite got great at it, but he sure got better. And he put a lot of work in doing that and improved a lot at the free throw line this year. Second thing I told him is you're going to have to run the floor every time, and you're going to have to hit the offensive boards every time. And he said, okay. And he did those things. He bought into what we were trying to do, and he was rewarded with one of the greatest individual seasons I've ever seen in my short coaching career, for sure. Statistically, Dylan averaged 33.1 points per game this year, and 15.6 rebounds, and 4.6 blocks per game. He did that shooting 61% from the field and 39% from the three-point line. So, you know, he scored a lot of points, but he didn't do it on a whole lot of shots, and that's pretty impressive. We played 28 games. He had 27 of the 28 games. He had a double-double, which is an incredible stat. He had 1 triple-double. 27 times he scored over 20 points, 27 of the 28 games. He scored over 30 points 17 times. He scored over 40 points 5 times, and he had a game toward the end of the year where he had a 64-point performance. Dylan didn't quite get to 1,000 this year, but he did score 895 points in one season, which is just an incredible number. He had 450 rebounds in 1 year, 125 offensive rebounds, which is an incredible number as well. Dylan finished his career at Potosi with 2,327 points, which is the all-time leading scorer at Potosi High School, a record that had previously been held since 1970. As far as we have been able to figure out, he is the first MAAA boys player to score 2,000 career points. And he, probably what he would be most proud of is he led us to our first district title in 33 years and a 20-8 record. Just an incredible season for Dylan. Wanted to talk a little bit more about the 64-point game. I had never seen a performance like that, and I think we had somebody up here that beat it this year, which is impressive. We'll talk about Daniel later, but he had 64 points, and the stat line was just something. He had 25 rebounds to go along with that. He blocked 8 shots, and I think he had 6 dunks in that performance. Shot 24. He was 24 for 34 from the field that game. So just an incredible game and an incredible performance. Unfortunately, we lost, which is hard to believe, but we did. In closing, I think the kind of numbers Dylan put up, at least to me, and I think to the media and other coaches and things, became so much of the norm this year that we almost got numb to it a little bit. I mean, he would score 45, and it wasn't that big of a deal, and that is a big deal. It was an incredible season by a high school basketball player, and he did it a lot of times, almost every game, with 2 guys on him. And for the first time, I had a team play against me that ran 3 guys who were playing man-to-man against him, and I'm not joking. He had 3 guys on him man-to-man, and 2 guys tried to guard the other 4. It didn't work, but they stopped him. But anyway, just an incredible season. It was a blessing to be a part of it, to watch it, and he deserves every bit of it. Good luck as you continue your career, although it won't be in basketball. He had some Division I offers in basketball, but he's going to continue his career at Missouri State playing baseball, which is just amazing to me that this is his second best sport because he's pretty darn good at this one. But congratulations again on a great year, and Dylan Coleman.
Yeah, we have a kid on this year's Dream Team that scores 64 points in a game, and we have another kid on the same Dream Team that says, "Oh, that's cute. Good try. You almost beat me." And next up, our next presenter could not be here today, but I will say a few words on behalf of Brandon Mays, who's the head coach of the St. Pius Lancers, and I'll say those words about Isaiah Hennessy of St. Pius. Isaiah averaged 19.3 points per game in his senior season, shot 47% from the field, 55% inside the arc, 32% outside the arc. 60% free throw shooter, also averaged 6.3 rebounds per game at 6 foot tall, playing mostly at guard. 4.1 assists per game as well. He was able to surpass 1,000 career points and lead his team to yet another conference championship this year. He was a Dream Team member last year and makes it back in his senior campaign. From St. Pius High School, Isaiah Hennessy. Our next coach was Coach of the Year back in 2006 and 2008. He was also Player of the Year, if you look even further back in your programs, back in 1994. His team won the Black River League this year, won their district. They were also sectional champs. From South Iron High School in Annapolis, Dusty Dinkins.
On behalf of our community players, families, I too would like to thank KTJJ for their coverage and all they do to help promote our area athletes and teams. And at this time, it's my pleasure to present Mr. Demetrius Cornell to the KTJJ Dream Team. He's a fantastic young man, and we are very blessed to have him represent South Iron and go on and continue his great journey through life. He is the son of James and LaRon Cornell of Annapolis. He's been one of the most exciting players I've ever coached. Been very fortunate to coach. He's provided many great highlight moments at South Iron through some of his high-flying dunks and other things. It was something that our community and our fans got a kick out of. You know, that's just a thing for fans, but it is fun from the coaching point of view to have a kid that can do something like that. I even caught myself a few times looking at the coaches and being like, wow, that doesn't happen very often in our area. And an example of that is back-to-back dunks in the conference championship game against Ellington, a tough opponent in the second half. And you experience something like that from a coaching point of view, and being around the game as long as I have, you realize that those moments are few and they don't happen very often. And And when you do have them, you want to take a little mental picture and be like, I want to remember that forever, because that was a pretty cool moment. His numbers overall, I think, could have been higher, but he was such a team player and really concerned about how he could make his team be the best it could be. So his average on points was about 17 points a game. It could have been easily in the 20s, but he was our leading assist guy on the year. He had a very strong senior class, and they had a great bond. We had 8 seniors, and for a Class 1 school, that's very impressive. But overall, such an unselfish, team-focused player, and grew throughout his senior season to be our centerpiece. And that was a little bit difficult because his personality's quite laid back and easy to get along with. And when you step on the court, you have to switch that over to wanting to be dominant and be the best player on the court. So through practice and grinding it out and a little bit of coaching pressure, we got the centerpiece to a great basketball team. And he carried us tremendously throughout the year. A few of his honors have been 2-time All-Conference player, 2-time All-District player. He was the Conference Player of the Year this year. He was an All-State player this year, and the boys Class 1 Player of the Year, which you figure it, I think there's roughly 126 to 128 Class 1 schools. So you're looking at 630, close to that, 635, 40 starters. So that's quite an accomplishment to be considered the best player in Class 1 boys. So outstanding, excited for him and his future. Just a few more things on his team success. Overall record in his 3 years, he had 71 wins to 14 losses, 2-time Arcadia Valley Thanksgiving Tournament Championship, 2-time BRL Conference champs and tournament champs, and we were 2 points shy for making it to the Final Four in Class 1. And that was a heartbreaker. Those young men and him as well really had their eyes set up on that, and that's part of the game, though. It can take you to the highest of joys and rip your heart out in just moments. So he was such a pleasure to coach. He was responsive to our demands and pushed himself to become a great player. And we're in the process of trying to find the right spot for him next year to continue his education and playing career. And we're extremely proud of his achievements at South Iron and excited to see his future continue to take shape. I have no doubts that he's going to have many more great achievements in the future. And in closing, it's been my pleasure to witness his growth, maturity, not on the court only, but as a young man. And I have to give all that responsibility to such a great family. He's got a wonderful mom and dad and brothers, and they should be extremely proud of each and every one of them. Thank you for leaving such a great impact on our school, community, team, myself, my family, and congratulations on this award.
He's about 9 feet taller than me, so sorry for that. Our next presenter led his team to its first district championship since 1998 and the first ever sectional championship from Valley Catholic High School right here in beautiful St. Genevieve, Chris Trimmer.
Before I get started, I'd like to thank J98 for all their coverage and also a local media coverage. Frank Kirschmer at St. Jen Prepcast, who does a phenomenal job and covers all of our games. I've been at this since 1982, and I probably have asked more out of this young man than any post player that I've ever coached. We changed his entire game. Daniel had a previous coach before me for 3 years, and then unfortunately going into his senior year, had to put up with me. And that's a pretty tough thing to have it. He had 3 years of being one of the premier outside players in our area. And this summer, myself and the coaching staff took a very hard look at what we had. And we knew that in order for us to be competitive and to win, that we had to take Daniel and move him down inside. And a lot of times people are resistant to this. You know, they don't want to make that move, especially in your senior year when you've had 3 years with the coaching staff, and then you wake up one morning on your senior year and you realize that you have an entire new coaching staff. You have to prove yourself all over again. You have to go out and learn all new offenses, all new defenses. Everything that you've done your entire career has changed. And this is what Daniel went through this year. And back during the summer, you know, we suggested to him and talked to him about being in an off-season program and running 5 days and lifting 4 days. And every day, every week from June till up to the beginning of basketball season. And this was something that, of course, again, was something that was different because the previous coach Coach Daniel did not do that. But I told Daniel the reason for the running and the conditioning is because the only time you're coming off the floor is halftime and the game is over. And as far as being down inside, you're going to find out that being inside is a much more physical game than what you're used to on the outside. And so every single day, Daniel went to run, and every single day, Daniel went to lift. We asked him to be, because he worked with 5 other young men who were out there in that program with him, to be a team leader every day, to lead by example. You know, you're the senior. Well, actually, they were all seniors, which was amazing, all except for one freshman. And to be the guy that leads every single day, that when you walk out on the basketball floor this year, we're going to ask you to be the leader in everything we do. In practice this year, the entire season of practice, we asked Daniel to lead us in every drill. And one of the reasons I really truly believe this was beneficial for us is because most of the players at our team, except for the young guys who didn't know a whole lot about Daniel, that incoming freshman group, the guys who had been playing with him for 3 years knew what he was about and greatly respected him. And so we knew that if we could get him to lead those guys, they would follow. And they did. I can't say enough about what he did. He changed his entire game. He maintained his outside ability, but really improved his inside game tremendously, became an interior force this year for us. Earlier this year in the Christmas tournament, we were in a battle. We were struggling that night, and all I know is that every time we came down the floor, one guy was posting up, making the move to the basket, getting the ball, splitting the lane, scoring. And we were down 20 points at one point in the game and came back and won the game by 22. When the game was over, somebody came over to me and said, "Do you realize that Daniel just put up 65 points?" And I was like, that's the quietest 65 points I've ever heard of. I mean, it was amazing to me. I couldn't believe it. So we checked it, went over to film 3 different times, talked to the media that covered the game, talked to 2 different media sources that covered it, and found out that 65 points was, I think, ranked 10th in our top 10 all time in scoring history in the state of Missouri for a single game. And, didn't say anything about scoring 65 points. Actually, he was kind of embarrassed by scoring 65 points and tried to deflect that away and not let that deter from the fact that the team was getting ready the next night to play for the Christmas, the Valley Christmas Championship. And never once during the season mentioned that. Led us in everything we did. Ended up the season with a double-double for the season, averaging 27 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, team captain all year long. Led us, as you heard, to the first district title since 1998, sectional 1998, Elite 8 since 1998. He was elected just recently as All-State basketball. He's also an All-State baseball player who played on Valley's last year's state championship team. He's also a 2-time All-District player, All-Conference player. All I know is that I'm really sad that I only had 1 year to work with him. Probably one of the most outstanding young men I've ever had the pleasure to coach. We'll greatly miss him. He's leaving tremendous hole, vacancy in his spot. I think that next year, we've already worked it out with the coaches, that with 3 guys, we can fill the void that Daniel's leaving. To me, again, one of the best basketball players I've ever coached in 33 years, Daniel Burkholdt.
The next presenter in his first year as the head coach of this program led the Cardinals to a 21-win season from Woodland High School in Bullinger County, Logan Nutt.
Hello, everybody. It's an honor to be here on behalf of Garrett Reynolds receiving this award. First of all, it is well deserved. This is my first year coaching, and he's all the coach could ask for. Individually, he reached his 1,000th point this year for his career. He averaged 20 points per game for us on a well-balanced, 9-deep rotation team. He had great support this year, and he would still be able to get great numbers. He averaged 6 rebounds, 2 of them were offensive, very active, 5 assists a game, and 2 steals a game. So he fills the stat sheet up. Very productive every single night. He never takes a night off, never even took a practice off or a play off. I think I might have saw him take 1 play off the entire year, and I'm still mad about it. But every day, as a leader, he was great. He brought it every single day. He made our teammates better. He made me better. I look up to him because of what he did every single day. He deserves this award, and I'm very proud of him. He's one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. I've been around basketball all my life, and he's a great hard worker. He's very, very intelligent. In the classroom, it proves that. He 4.4 GPA, 29 on the ACT, and it carries over into the basketball. His basketball IQ is very high, and he's always anxious to learn. I love that about him. He's always anxious to learn. He wanted to know everything that I think I know, and he wanted to know everything, what I was thinking. We sit down and watch a basketball game. He wants to know what Tom Izzo's thinking. And I hope he carries that on because his work ethic and his desire and drive to become a better player in person, I think people will be wanting him to work for them one day. He is your ideal leader. He's very well-spoken. He's motivational, and he holds his teammates in check. He makes sure that they're playing hard, too. He wants them to improve just as much as he wants himself to improve. He got a lot of awards this year. He Woodland tournament all-tournament team, SEMO all-tournament team, Stoddard County all-tournament team, all-district team, Stoddard County first team all-conference, and now the Dream Team. Most of all, the most important thing about this kid is he was always a great kid. He never showed up to a practice with a frown on his face. He was always a smile on his face. I love that about him, and it rubbed off on our team, and it made this season very enjoyable selfishly for me, especially as a first-year coach. I'm very blessed to have a great kid with him to work with. I hope I get a few more of them. And I just want to say thank you for the great year, the experiences. Good luck in your future, and congratulations on this award. Good job,
The thing about players from schools like Woodland, Meadow Heights, Steelville, Viburnum, you know, when coaches vote for the Dream Team, obviously they're going to want their conference represented a little bit on the Dream Team as well. And one thing that I think about coaches in our area, and a pretty good job that they do, is they don't strictly vote conference lines. They're going to reach outside the conference a little bit and vote for the best players in the area. I think for the most part, coaches do a great job of that. But you look at a school like Woodland, who they have 1, maybe 2 other schools in their conference that votes on the Dream Team. So when Garrett Reynolds makes the Dream Team, you know he earned it. And there's other schools in our kind of outer lying area of our listening area that are in the same boat. It makes it tough to make the Dream Team because they simply don't play the schools on the inner core of our listening area. So I always appreciate it when coaches don't necessarily look just within their own conference when they're voting for the Dream Team. And I think the coaches did a great job of doing that this year. For Player of the Year, well, this might have been a no-brainer this season. 33 points per game, 16 rebounds, 4.7 blocks per game. He scored under 20 points only once all year and failed to achieve a double-double only once all year, and that was in his final game of the season. He's the returning Dream Team Player of the Year from Potosi High School, Dylan Coleman. For our Coach of the Year, and this is the second straight year that this has happened, and kind of interesting that it's the same 2 conferences as well. We have a tie for Coach of the Year. Last year it was Lewis Bell and Justin Callahan. Lewis Bell of Clearwater from the Black River League. Coach Callahan from Farmington is in the MAAA. And we have that again this year. We have a Black River League Coach of the Year that's going to be recognized today. We have an MAAA Coach of the Year that's going to get recognized today. We'll ask, they're both here today. We'll ask if they come up one at a time, and I'll go ahead and announce them one at a time. Our first one led his team to a 24-4 record and was just 3 points away from making the Final Four. This is the third time receiving this award from South Iron High School, Dusty Dinkins. And again, Player of the Year back in 1994 and won Coach of the Year in, I believe, 06 and 08 for Coach Dusty Dinkins. Yeah, that's right, 06 and 08. Led his team to a Black River League championship, district championship, and the sectional championship.
It's very humbling to receive this award. I've been very blessed even since my playing days, and just appreciate all those that have been around me, supported me and helped me along the way. And that's what we try to share to our kids is it's a process, and you can only get to where you want to get to with a lot of help along the way. We've had great players for several years at South Iron, made me look pretty good as a coach. I've had great support from the community, from my family, from my wife, and just appreciate it. Thank you, coaches. It's a great community, great area to represent, and just thank you very much.
Now for our next Coach of the Year, it's a little bit of an awkward situation. We did not have any Dream Team athletes from his team that made the Dream Team this year. And this happens every once in a while, but it is pretty rare. But the accomplishments he was able to achieve this season, MAAA Small Schools champs, MAAA tournament champs, 20 wins this year, 48 total wins in 3 seasons as head coach, and from the same county as Dusty Dinkins, from Arcadia Valley, Ricky Turnbow. Coach Turnbow gets up here, I'll tell you that he was never Dream Team Player of the Year, but I'm pretty sure he made the Dream Team back in his playing days. He played for the Viburnum Blue Jays back in the day. I think he and Jackson Conaway might be the 2 best ever basketball players out of Viburnum High School.
Thank you very much. I would tell you that I was taken by surprise, but as Glenn mentioned, I don't have any athletes on the team, so just kind of follow suit here, and thanks to J98 and all the local media for all the coverage they provide to our kids. Congratulations to you guys. I'd like to congratulate all the athletes except for Garrett Reynolds. I'm still mad at him for scoring 41 against us in the district game. I'm just kidding, Garrett. As Glenn mentioned, a kid from, I can vouch for Garrett. He's a heck of a player. We had, it's especially honoring to receive this award in a year where we had a lot of good coaches and a lot of good teams in the area. It means a lot. Thanks to the coaches that voted for me. Thanks to my wife didn't miss a game this whole year, which is tough when you got 2 young kids, and she did the stats for me and is very good at it. I'm glad that Dusty, I kind of had the heads up that we was going to share this award with him. And as Coach Mapes mentioned earlier, I'm kind of glad he got to go first because, it means a lot to share this award with him because I can remember my first year coaching, get home from a tough loss. It was kind of a rough year. Get to school the next day, and I had an email from Coach Dinkins about, just believing in yourself and continuing to push, and things will work out. So it really means a lot to share this award with him, and I really appreciate it. And I can't, obviously, when you win an award like this, we had a good group of kids that really bought into playing hard and playing together. And we had a really strong bond this year, and I appreciate what those guys did. I had some guys that were probably real close to being up here, and had some good players. If you watched the All-Star game last night, Clayton Jones put on a little bit of a show that was pretty fun to watch, and And I think it was a very elite group, and congratulations and thank you.
And I want to thank Coach Turnbull for coming out today, too, because, again, not having any athletes on the Dream Team, certainly appreciate him being able to come out and accept the award and have all those great things to say. And, yes, Clayton Jones and Austin Ernest were very close to making the Dream Team. In fact, maybe even stole some votes from each other. So that's how good that Arcadia Valley basketball team was this year. Big round of applause for the 2015 Boys Basketball Dream Team. On to cross country we go, and what can we say about our first presenter here? We'll have a lot to say. He led his boys and girls both to team state championships this year. The boys team won every race they participated in. He is a 5-time Coach of the Year in cross country, and he is going to be presenting half of the Dream Team today. From Festus High School, Bryant Wright.
Thanks again to the radio stations for this Dream Team ceremony. In his running career, Tyler Gillum was a state champ, all-conference and all-state 3 times on the Mo-Mile split team, on the all-metro team. This year, he was 3rd at the state, 2nd at district, 4th at Forest Park, and Chili Pepper, 2nd at conference. I'll remember him for his amazing job as he did as a captain for his team, how he and Michael Carl set the tone to be better as a team than what we thought we could. The way he tried to include everyone. He was a member of 2 second-place teams and 2 state champion teams, and I believe this year is his 2nd Dream Team. He is ranked 4th in his class. His parents are Jennifer and Carrie Pinkley. Next year, he verbally committed to join his high school teammates Jamie Kempfer and Drew White at Mizzou. Tyler Gillum. Michael Carls, this year was a state champion. He ran the 2nd fastest time ever, regardless of class, at the state championship meet. 3 years in the top 10 at the state meet. His time of 15:04 5K ranked him #1 in the state this year. Fastest ever Nike regional time. If he didn't win the meet this year, he placed 2nd. Not a bad runner. Gatorade Runner of the Year. I will remember his focus to be the best. I have seen him on many occasions when his body said it was time to stop. His mind made him run harder, which is very rare. He was a member of 2 second-place teams and 2 state championship teams. He is ranked #1 in his class, and he recently won Big Man on Campus. His talent, ribbon dancing. His next stop will be the Naval Academy. He is the son of Michael and Shanna Carls. Michael Carl. Jacob Swice is a junior. He placed 8th at the Forest Park meet, which is one of the biggest meets in the United States now. Won the Bowls meet, was all conference and all district, and finished 5th at the state meet. He has turned into a great runner, and he's done very well listening and doing what is expected of him. He is such a hard worker, and he's learned early, if I find great people to be around, like Michael Carls and Tyler Gillum, and train with them, it might make me great, and he's on his way. He's a member of the 2 state championship teams. He's ranked 8th in his class. His mother is Jen Schweiss, and his father is Kirk Schweiss. Jacob Schweiss. Carolyn White, what an incredible competitor. Not only that, such a hard worker. Carolyn is one of the best female runners I've ever coached. She's in the top 2 as far as consistency over 4 years. She was on the Mo-Mile split team and on the all-metro team. She won 3 races this year and placed in the top 5 at every meet but 2. She defended her conference title, was all-district, and finished 3rd to the 2 St. John girls on this Dream Team. She has been a member of 2 second-place teams and a state championship team. She's 7th in her class. Her parents are John and Cindy White. She has a verbal commitment to join her former teammates, Jamie Kempfer and Drew White, and her current teammate, Tyler Gillum, to attend Mizzou next year. Carolyn White. What an incredible, inspirational story. Katie Holmes. She was very slow as a freshman. She got a little faster as a sophomore. But one day she asked me what she had to do to get better, so we talked. But more importantly, she did what was expected. The next year, she ran 3 minutes faster in some of the races than she ran the year before. This year, her senior year, she was second at the conference, placed 5th at the district meet, finished 14th at the state meet. If you don't think hard work will bring success, talk to Katie Holmes. She has been a member of 2 state second-place teams and a state championship team. Her parents are Jay and Jillian Holmes. She will be running for Maryville on a scholarship next year. Katie Holmes.
The next coach led his girls to a second-place finish at state this year. The boys' team, they were pretty good too. They took 3rd place at the state meet this year. From Herculaneum High School, please welcome Kyle Davis.
It is an honor to get to present to you sophomore Miss Danielle Prince. Danielle is the daughter of Joe and Tamitha Prince of Pevely, Missouri. Danielle, as a student, is involved in the student council. She's involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She's in the yearbook club, theater club, National Junior Honor Society. She's in the Quiz Bowl. She's in the Character Council. She's the president of the Venture Crew. She's also very active in Girl Scouts. She's in the Girls Congress, and she is on the youth leadership team at her church. Danielle, as a runner, has been a district champion. She is a multi-time all-conference runner. She was 5th place this year at the state championship as a sophomore. Danielle has led our team to 2 district championships, as well as 2 state trophies, including a 2nd place finish this past year. Danielle, like many of these athletes up here, has a tremendous work ethic. She is a favorite among her teammates for her friendship and her caring attitude. Though she is constantly leading by actions and example, she does not talk very often. Also, Danielle is easily the most coachable athlete I've had the privilege of working with. Danielle just happens to be one of the sweetest people I know. After a somewhat difficult ending to her freshman track season, though she was a state qualifier and already an avid everyday runner, she cut out some of the fluff, raised the bar for herself, which in turn made the whole team stronger and better. And when you have an athlete like this that does something without ever even talking to the coach, getting any suggestions from the coaching staff, it's like having an assistant coach as one of your athletes. Danielle is deeply committed to the Herculaneum cross-country tradition and a great representative of the entire community. I'm excited to see what she can do this track season, and best of all, I get her back for 2 more years. Once again, it's an honor to coach Miss Danielle Prince.
The head coach of our next program was unable to attend today. He's a legend around here in cross country and track. Steve Davis, the head coach up at Potosi. However, his assistant is here and will speak about Caleb Gaylord. So please welcome from Potosi, Brett Gimmer.
Well, I get the privilege to present Caleb Gaylord tonight. He's been a complete pleasure to coach this year. He is the son of Kenneth and Sheila Gaylord, and I'd like to take the time to really thank them. They seem to buy into our program just as much as our athletes do. We have them there early in the morning, and they don't get out till late at night, and they make it happen every day. So, and with that being said, I think of all the coaches who say we see them with a smile on every time they come in, and I'm lucky to see him looking somewhat alive when he comes in the morning. I'm always pretty much asleep. So, but with that being said, he never complains. He comes in and does what he's supposed to do, and goes out for those runs. Sometimes always says, I want to go I want to run home today, which is quite a bit more mileage than he should get. So looking back on him, thinking about our first run together, I actually get to go out and run with our boys, and thinking back to our first long run, he was hurting just a little bit, and he likes to tell that story a little differently to some of our people now, saying that I was the one hurting. And it's kind of funny looking back at our season, because as the year went on, he would progressively get a little closer, and all of a sudden he started passing me up in some of this stuff. And I'd like to sit back and say that that was me letting him beat me in workouts and stuff, boost his morale a little bit, but he just kept working and just demolished me day after day towards the end of the season. So that was a lot of fun to see. Looking back on his season this year, we got off to a rough start. You're wanting to say, want to be one of the best runners in the state, and I think our first meet, he would have been lucky to make Festus's top 7. But he came back to work the next day and was ready to go, and just always bought into our program. Never doubted Coach, never doubted, well, maybe doubted me a little bit, but never doubted the big guy. So that was good. Went to conference, was third in our conference with a time of 16:34, which was a minute 25 faster than the year before. Fourth in the district, which was about a minute 25, I think, faster than the year before. And believe it or not, went to the state meet and I think ran, again, a minute 25 faster than the year he did before. Went from 51st as a freshman, helping close out a state championship team, to 4th in the state. He's just been a pleasure to coach again, like I said, and we look forward to seeing what he can do in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Gaylord, thank you.
Next up, we have the 2012 Coach of the Year. He's also a 6-time Girls Track Coach of the Year. His girls finished 2nd place at state this year from right here in St. Genevieve, Brian Jett.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the radio stations. This is a wonderful program. They do a great deal to follow high school area athletics. I'd also like to thank you for adding a couple more recipients to the cross-country dream team. This is a real hotbed for distance runners and some of the best in the state, so it's good to see some more of them up here, and I thank you again for that. It's my privilege today, and I'm going to start with the young man. This is Mr. Ben Nagger. He's the son of Mike and Jill Nagger. And Ben established himself as one of the best sophomore distance runners in the state. During Ben's fall season, he won 5 meets. He gained valuable experience as a front runner. Our district meet ran at a pretty flat course in Dexter, saw Ben bested by a couple of outstanding runners, fellow dream teamers from Festus. The following week, he again pushed the envelope, and by the 2-mile mark, he led the Class 3 state meet. He was overtaken in the last mile by Festus senior Mr. Michael Carls and placed 2nd. In the process, Ben Nagger ran the fastest time of any sophomore in any class at the 2014 state meet. Ben's a 2-time All-State cross-country runner, placing 6th as a freshman. This past spring, he again earned All-State honors in the 3,200 meter by placing 4th, again as a freshman. Like many of our runners, Ben has tremendous work ethic. His dedication, desire, and discipline are second to none. Ben has taken the role of team leader at a very young age and has done it very well. He leads both vocally and by example. Ben exhibits character and integrity, and he's driven the classroom as well. He ranks 13th out of 157. He's a young man with obvious superior ability, but his toughness and his fearless approach to racing is what sets him apart of runners with similar ability. I'm blessed and honored to have a young man of this caliber on my team, and I can say with a smile, he's only a sophomore. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Nagger. I've had the opportunity to present pretty many Dream Teamers over the year. I've been very blessed in my career, and I don't know that I've written speeches like this before, but The next Dream Teamer that I'd like to talk about is Miss Maya German. This is a young lady right here. She's the daughter of Tony and Penny German. Maya's a three-time All-State cross-country runner. She placed 18th as a freshman, 4th as a sophomore, and this past fall, 2nd in her junior season. She also has a pretty good collection of All-State track honors, 6 to be exact. While track and cross-country go pretty much hand in hand if you're a distance runner, I'd like to talk more about this past fall season. Maya is a 3-year member of a girls' cross-country team who, along with her fellow classmates, has established themselves as one of the best in the state. This past fall, however, a tough and grueling sport got tougher for Maya. She was diagnosed with low ferritin, which to those non-runners out there is like having low iron or anemia. Not an easy fix, even given the diagnosis in June. Maya was immediately placed on oral medications, but that did nothing to boost her ferritin levels. The next step was infusion, which appeared to be the answer until she was tested weeks later and again found to be severely depleted. Her body simply would not absorb or retain ferritin. Maya trained all summer and fall in my rigorous program while suffering from anemic-like symptoms. A couple anemic symptoms with the mental stress this condition placed on her and her fall achievements are that much more impressive. Maya is one of the most success-driven young ladies I've had the opportunity to work with. She follows my program to the letter and is always looking to improve. This past fall, she simply would not give up on her dreams. I'm happy to report that Maya's issues seem to have been solved. I look forward to seeing what a healthy Maya is capable of. Yesterday, I got to see her run a 10:52 mile. Pretty outstanding. I relish the opportunity to work with her this spring and in her senior season. Ms. Maya German. Okay, the one in the middle. If you follow track or cross country, you're probably familiar with this Dream Teamer. If you don't, let me introduce Miss Taylor Warner. She's the daughter of Chris and Becky Warner. Taylor's running accolades are numerous and quite impressive. Miss Warner's a 3-time cross-country state champion and owns the state course record. She currently holds the all-class state record for the 1,600-meter run, as well as the 3,200-meter run. Taylor has earned All-American honors in cross-country and is considered by some to be one of the best runners in the country. Running has helped teach Taylor many life skills: hard work, dedication, desire, sacrifice, humility, and teamwork have all been lessons that Taylor's learned and mastered. This past season, she was tested with setbacks and frustrations that stemmed from what appeared to be a problem with the hip socket or the hamstring. The fall season began with a lingering pain in her hip area. Taylor ran our first two races, but pain sidelined her. Many professionals examined her and offered different recommendations, which seemed to help, but only in the short term. Her symptoms persisted and even worsened, but with the end of the season closing in, Taylor stepped up and endured the pain and helped her teammates to a conference championship. Thinking her injury may be on the mend, she began to train again sporadically. We were hopeful as she raced the last 3 races of the season. However, watching her run, it was obvious that something was still wrong. Her competitive nature and desire to help her team pushed her to endure the pain, and she won the last 3 races, which included a district title and another state championship. Taylor handled the frustrations, the pain, and the setbacks this past season presented to her with the character and the grace that she's exhibited since she burst onto the running scene as an 8th grader. I can report that her injury has been accurately diagnosed as a stress reaction on her ischia, basically where her hamstring attaches to her pelvis. Taylor appears to be healthy and is happy to be training pain-free once again. I look forward to seeing how she progresses this spring, and I'm thrilled to get to coach her during her senior year. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Taylor Warner.
They may or may not be thinking that cross country is a fall sport and why we are recognizing them at the Winter Sports Dream Team ceremony. There is a reason and a good story behind that. You know, when I first started at the radio station, we were recognizing 2 boys and 2 girls cross country runners every year. And the coaches, the cross country coaches especially, were on me pretty hard. We need to expand this. We need to expand this. And I'm always reluctant to expand the Dream Team because what I talked about earlier and the exclusivity of it and what it means to actually make it on. We don't want to just water it down and let everybody on. But you look at the cross country state race this year and you had, Tommy reminded me of this earlier, 5 of the boys from the Class 3 race, the top 5, are all here today from this side of the state, from our listening area. I think the top 3 girls are as well. That's just Class 3. Class 1, Class 2, Class 4, we had several representatives there as well. So I didn't have much of an argument not to expand the cross-country Dream Team. The problem with expanding the cross-country Dream Team was it added, 6 more athletes to a already loaded fall Dream Team ceremony. So during the fall, we would have been over 50 athletes to get through, and if you think you've been here long today, imagine, sitting through 50. So what we did is we kind of compromised with cross country. We moved it to the winter. What we also did was we added a girls and boys runner of the year, and we're going to have a girls and boys coach of the year to recognize cross country the way it should be recognized by the Dream Team. So with that being said, our girls cross country runner of the year is in her junior season. She's a 3-time cross country state champion. She's the state course record holder. And she's been on the Dream Team, I've lost count. Taylor Warner from St. Genevieve. Not only the best female runner in the state of Missouri, one of the best female runners in the United States of America. Next, our boys runner of the year. He was able to win 4 races and took second in 1 race this season. He ran the fastest 5K time of the year for boys Class 3 state cross country course record holder. He's a district and state champion, conference course record holder as well from Festus High School, Michael Carls. Both of our coaches are here today, so we'll ask you to come up and say a few words. Our girls coach of the year for the 2nd time in 3 years, Brian Jett from St. Genevieve. Second time in 3 years, and also 6 girls track coach of the year awards to go along with that, and another spring track season coming up.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm not sure that this is mine, Bryant. This may well be yours. I am very thankful for it. However, I've been truly blessed as a coach. This couldn't be possible without the coaching staff that I've got, Mr. Chris Werner, my assistant coach. I've got a volunteer coach back there, Mr. John Boyd. He runs all the practices with them. He's in there every morning running the miles with them. We've got some great mentors and role models for them. I couldn't do it without the parents. Pretty demanding program. Kids get there at 6 in the morning, year-round. It's grueling, but it's rewarding. The parents understand my demands and support me. And again, I thank you very much. What an honor.
Coach Jett, don't feel too bad for Coach Wright of Festus because he's the boys' coach of the year. When you get half of the Dream Team from one school, that's probably going to happen. Boys state champion, girls state champions. It was a tiebreaker on the girls' side, I do believe. I think St. Genevieve had the top 2 runners, but then Festus kind of filled in behind. It came down to a tiebreaker, and Festus took that as well as the first ever girls cross-country state championship at Festus.
I want to thank Jesus Christ, my personal Savior, for giving me the privilege to be able to coach. I would like to, excuse me, lost my voice yesterday hollering at some people, but it was at a track meet, so it wasn't too bad. I would like to thank those that work hand in hand with me every day. Wes Armbruster, a common name down here, Amanda Albrecht, Edie Thurman. Their title is assistant coach, but they're they're way more than that to the program. I would like to thank the Festus administration for their support. Thanks to the great coaches around here, which we are making each other better, and we're hoping that by doing that we make our athletes better. And thanks to the parents and all they do for their kids. And finally, thanks to the athletes. What a great experience for me to help these athletes try to reach a goal over their high school career. And through the ups and the downs, they grow up to be amazing young men and women. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Before we wrap up today, I just want to kind of share what it's like from our standpoint to deal with Dream Team athletes at the radio station. When you're in your first year in radio and you're living in a one-bedroom apartment and you're eating ramen noodles every night for supper, and it's your job to interview Dream Team athletes, you quickly realize these high school kids have it put together a lot better than I do, and here they are, 10, 15, whatever years younger than I am. So it kind of influences you to be a better person. If they're working this hard every day to achieve their goals, why can't I do that? It's not too late for me. I'm only in my mid-20s. So I'm proud to report that I'm married, and I have a daughter, and now I'm up to a 3-bedroom house. So the impact that dealing with Dream Team athletes, what it's had on me, I've said it before, it's irreplaceable, really. They really do make me want to be a better person, and talking to them, I've been at the radio station 5 years. We do 3 Dream Teams a year, so I'm not good at math, but however many Dream Team athletes that is in 5 years that I've talked to over the years, they really kind of push you to be a better person. And I think other people at the radio station would have that same sentiment. I also want to say that, and I've said this at the Dream Team Selection Show as well, we may have had one more talented player or maybe a couple of more talented individual players over the years than maybe what we have here today, maybe. But for a collective group of talent to be gathered in one place, boys basketball, girls basketball, cross country, and wrestling, this might be the best Dream Team. Well, it is. It is the best Dream Team that I've ever seen since I've been here. It is unbelievable the amount of good players that aren't up here tonight. So that's 5 years, and you could probably go back pretty far and say this is the best Dream Team. It's been a pleasure watching them play, especially the seniors. I hate to see you go. For the ones that are coming back, let's do it again next year. Thank you very much. Drive home safely. And how about a big round of applause for Melissa Otto with the St. Genevieve Performing Arts Center for putting this on today.